Yo, what's going on with you guys? Bodybuilding with Killer this morning, the 28th of July 2025. What am I talking about? I'm talking about cheaper alternatives of protein. We know just how meat has become expensive in the past, I think a decade or two or 15 years, but it's just not the end. Here you are a bodybuilder, you want to pack on mass, that serious mass. Obviously, serious mass comes from protein, from consuming lots and lots and lots of protein. And if you're going to eat 6, 8, 10 meals a day, those meals need to have protein, my friend, and that's another expense. And what are you looking at? You are trying to say, okay, with the tighter budgets that we are running around, what can I find that is less as expensive? And I've got in my list the kind of proteins that I would go for just to save on money, to save on that little buck. And I want to go straight into it. At the top of my head, the staple, the international protein for bodybuilders, good old eggs. Nothing beats eggs. I mean, what are we saying? We are saying one egg has 6 grams of protein. So if you're going to have 5 eggs, that means you've got 30 grams of protein. Your body is going to assimilate probably, that much. That's why you'll find that in most mass gainers, the protein content would be maybe 24 grams, 25, 26, 27, 28, because your body will, depending on your muscle mass, but for most people, the body will be able to assimilate that 24, 25, 26, 27 grams. But it's still fine, So if, for example, you're talking about an eggs only diet in a day, you're going to have 6 meals, for example, you've got enough protein. You've got enough protein to go. The advantage being that eggs are easily available and they are a lot cheaper. And where I am, we buy one egg at 2 rands. So that means that if you're going to be buying 5 eggs, you're spending 10 rands, right? So if you're going to be, for example, having not five, let's say 2 meals of eggs, you're spending only 20 rands a day. Alternatively, you could go, there are areas where you can go where they, for example, produce chickens, and you go there, you buy in bulk. If you buy, say, 60 boxes of 60, three of them, four of them, or five of them, you are good to go. That is eggs, much cheaper. Then my next in the list is going to be pork. Pork is very cheaper compared to beef. I think the baseline here is a comparison to beef, which is roughly expensive where we are in South Africa. And I'm looking here, 200 grams of pork will yield 41 grams of protein. That's not bad. It's not bad. So you want to be smart with this. So the intent is to swallow as much protein as you possibly can. And so if you can, let's say, for example, if you've got 200 grams of pork, what do? If you're doing 3 lunch boxes, you divide that into 3 lunch boxes. You're still fine. You're still good to go, because during the day you're also swallowing your peanuts for refreshing. Those are meals, by the way. If you have got if you can afford a powder, protein powder, that will still be fine. But if you can't afford protein powder, think a lot about how do I try to extract as much protein as possible from what is there, which is valuable, with as little money as I possibly can. So pork is good for protein. Number 3 in my list is going to be liver. Very cheap. Very, very cheap. I mean, I bought liver the other day, and that liver was eaten by 5 people or 4 people, and this is like 200 grams of liver. And it's not going to be like beef. We for just one meal, we're going to spend about $100, 120 bucks is our threshold for just for one meal on beef. But liver, and you buy that equivalent at like 30 rands, and there's so much protein in that liver, and we're counting 40 grams of protein in 200 grams of beef. Very cheap, very, very affordable. So if you're smart enough, you'll make sure that you consume a lot of liver. Liver is ridiculously cheap. A lot of pork, a lot of eggs. Then number 4 in my list is going to be good old chicken. Good old chicken. Chicken is still cheap where we are. It's still very, very cheap where we are. You could simply buy those chicken breasts, but my version of eating is just eat chicken. If you can't afford the lifestyle of breast pieces, just buy chicken and eat chicken. That's it. Chicken has protein. Regardless of which part of the chicken you are eating, the chicken body is called chicken. It has protein. Then, of course, you supplement with your peanuts. I like to have my peanuts. I don't go once in 2 days without eating my peanuts. Sometimes, yes, I can go 4 or 5 days when I feel like they are now seated here on me, so let me leave them a bit, and then I come back on a bang. And so if you can afford a bucket, if you can afford a protein powder, which usually I would be talking about your mass gainer, because whey is going to be expensive. Most whey, even even if it is not concentrate whey, but to pay $900 for 972 grams, 900 grams, less than 1 kg, it's quite expensive for a lot of guys. But if you can afford a mass gainer, I respect a mass gainer. I prefer a mass gainer actually for the days when I'm doing my legs, the days when I'm doing my back. Much of the time I wouldn't necessarily need a mass gainer. I would just be consuming normal food. I am a strong believer in food, because you are only going to pack on that dense, heavy muscle when you eat real food. A supplement, as the name suggests, is you supplement something that already exists, right? In other words, you've got the base, you've got the foundation, which is food, then you've got the wall, which is your supplement. So the supplement must supplement food, a foundation of food that already exists, and that is not very, very, very difficult to think about. So if you can go all the way, you would alternate. You would say, let's say Monday I eat pork, Tuesday I eat liver, Wednesday I eat chicken, Thursday I'm eating beef, for example. For me, I'm a kind of a person who, if I have them all, I can just simply put them in one pot, cook everything at once, then distribute within my lunch boxes. I've got a concept that they are going to the same place, but that is me on food. I don't eat for taste. I just feed my metabolism so that my metabolism can give me the kind of results that I want. Yeah, and so as I said, if you can afford a mass gainer, all the better after your training sessions. If you can swallow that protein that is quick inside the blood, liquids, we always say in this show that liquids are quick to go in the blood. Within 30 minutes, liquids are exactly inside your blood. Solids will take from an hour and beyond to be assimilated and processed and be thrown inside your bloodstream to start the process of repairing. So after training, obviously you've broken down muscle tissue, you've broken down cells, tissues, membranes. Now the body automatically wants to rebuild, repair, and the only building block, the only repairing block, as I normally say, is called protein. So 30 minutes after your training, that switch inside your brain called the mTOR goes on to say, let's start the rebuilding process. Let us start the rebuilding process. So if you have taken a liquid, there it is in the blood within 30 minutes. A liquid could easily mean, sometimes I take my blender, there it is there. I take my blender to the gym. I've got my raw eggs, I've got 10 eggs. I break my eggs inside my blender. I've got 2 bananas, I've got an apple, I've got a tablespoon of peanut butter. I've got my milk I throw inside. It's liquid. I've got grams and grams of protein inside there, which is, is a protein shake. Essentially, that's what they do anyway. So if you can do it yourself, even when you wake up in the morning, because in the morning, let's say you are on an empty stomach and you need protein that can quickly run inside the bloodstream, good. You've got a blender. A bodybuilder always has a blender. A serious bodybuilder always has a blender. You don't live without a blender, because why? If you're going to say, I'm going to eat 8 meals, I'm going to eat 10 meals a day, there are days when food just doesn't want to go in. When solids just don't want to go in, what do? You have liquids going inside. From 8 meals, if you are eating 8 meals and if you can blend 6, why not? We blend everything. As we blend fish, we blend beef. We blend anything that can be blended to smaller pieces, and we drink, alleviating that, tension the body has when it comes to swallowing a lot of solids. So there you have it on cheaper alternatives of protein. Let me know what you think in the comment section. Thank you for tuning in.